With the release of Phantasmal Flames, we are seeing quite the shift in the market sentiment. We have some market manipulation going on, and we have overall positive market sentiment on Phantasmal Flames. So what does that mean for you guys? In this video, we're going to talk about what is happening in the sealed market right now so that you guys are better prepared for what to do in regards to Phantasmal Flames and some of the other sets in the Scarlet, Violet, Mega Evolutions, and even the Sword and Shield eras. What's going on, guys? My name is Steve. This is Steel City Stacks. Thanks for tuning into the video. I hope you guys were able to go and get some product. I had some pre-orders canceled, unfortunately, through the Pokemon Center. I was able to get the UPC at least, so that's not bad. That's going to stay sealed. There's a lot of stuff going on with that one. I heard there's some miscuts and some bad centering on that. So I think I'm going to leave mine sealed. I was going to anyway. I was going to pick up the promos on the secondary market or wherever I could find them in my stores or whatever it would be, because I like them. I think they're really cool cards and I think they're worth adding to my personal collection, but I'm going to keep that guy sealed. Like I said, I did get some pre-orders canceled. That absolutely sucks. I was able to find some product and I pulled this guy, which I am super excited to pull this guy. I found it in Japanese, or I pulled it in Japanese and gave it away as part of the bounty series I do on this channel. So I was sad to see it go. I was really hoping I was going to be able to pull it. I'm so glad that I was able to actually find product and then pull that guy. Aside from the gold and the SAR or SIR Charizard, excuse me, I really wanted to pull this guy. I pulled the Piplup, was happy about that. But I think I'm relatively happy. I was out in the streets in stores and stuff, and there was plenty of product out there, and it got gobbled up super quickly. So I hope you guys were able to go and find some product and really enjoy it. I know there's wave 2 coming here probably in the middle of December. We did get some confirmation on that one, at least in it being more of a 60-40 / 50-50 split. So hopefully we'll see more product here in the future. But for now, there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about because, like I said, there's manipulation going on. There's a bunch of other stuff going on. So be sure to tap in and listen to this full one. It's going to be a little bit longer of an episode than I normally do, but just stick with it. Everything will be divided by chapters and you guys can skip around. Let's get into it. For this week's video, we are going to start with Mega Evolutions and Phantasmal Flames booster boxes. You can see there's not that much of a difference with Mega Evolutions. It's not that much to talk about. The price is still holding pretty steadily. We're still at about $257.95. There's a little bit more new listings added. We're going to talk about that kind of as the theme here, throughout pretty much everything. But we really want to focus on Phantasmal Flames because this is the new hot thing. But there's something I want you guys to pay attention to. And again, this whole entire thing will revolve around this point. Now, some of these numbers here, the current quantities and stuff like that, like, of course, we're going to see a negative change in quantity because it's a new release. It's finally out there. People are able to list them outside of just the brick and mortar pre-release locations. But what's interesting is this part over here. We are seeing, as of right now, the lowest listing on TCG Player is 308.58. And this is Sunday morning, about 9:25 in the morning is when I'm recording this. We have seen the price jump up 1.18%. I know you're probably thinking, that's not a lot, Steve. What does that have to do with anything? What's interesting, and I'm going to show you guys because I finally have enough kind of like data points to start showing you graphs. This orange line is the quantity, okay, which is on this right side. And the blue line is price. That's going to be the same for every graph that I've made, okay? Let's just get that out there. You guys can see, this is pretty much like the middle of last week, Monday. As quantity goes up, price is coming down relative, right? Or I'm sorry, quantity going down, price going up. So we went from about 305, 304.99 to 308.58. But when we go over here and we look at Phantasmal Flames, this is the 1 month graph because it's so brand new. The release, pretty much started down here. The price is going up. And what is important to note, specifically, we'll scroll back up and go over here, is that consumers are saying this price is okay. What's going to be interesting over the next week is to see, does this price hold? Does it increase? Because sentiment is insanely high. It's very, very high. Just going out in different stores, the product was plentiful. It's out there. People feel very good about this set in real life versus what we're just seeing on a screen. And that's really good. And it's nice whenever numbers kind of reflect what you're actually seeing. And of course, I'm only in one pocket of the United States, but I'm still seeing, from where I'm at, people like the set. They're craving the set. They want to find it. They want to rip it. I'm one of those people. I'm trying to pull the Charizard. Everyone wants it. You're going to see this rip and ship to oblivion, I'm sure. We did get kind of at least some confirmation from a non-TCG saying that this is more of like a 60-40 and 50-50 split in terms of what they're getting for distribution. Probably middle of December is when we're going to get the next wave. So we will see what happens with this price. It's going to be very interesting. This might be Destined Rivals 2.0 in terms of like market behavior. But again, we will see what happens in person. We will see what happens with this. But what's interesting and why I bring up the Mega Evolution stuff is we are seeing new listings pop up on Mega Evolutions, and the price is holding pretty steadily. And it seems like people, at least through TCG Player, are starting to try to liquidate their product to buy into Phantasmal Flames. Very important to kind of understand, right? Just we'll see it. We'll skip over here to Scarlet Violet. You guys are going to be able to see kind of what I'm talking about. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of product added here. This is what this column here means. But we'll start off, we'll talk Scarlet Violet base. Not much of a change literally whatsoever. Again, feel free to just pause this and just look at it on your own time, guys. I totally get it. Palde Evolved, almost no change as well. It's down just, it's just fell below $400 for the most part. It's pretty cool. Obsidian Flames, this is where we're going to start to talk about some of the manipulation that's happening. And I want to shout out Pokepon for being the first person I've seen call it out on YouTube. I had noticed this throughout the week when I was kind of updating my sheets. I didn't think much of it because I was like, oh, that's weird. It was just one thing. And then, I watched his video and he pointed out like 8 things. So shout out to him. He's the first person to see it, but we're going to get into it because it is really interesting. So Obsidian Flames, you can see there's really not that much of a change, like at all, in terms of like quantity this week to last week. Price just did not change at all. But when we go over here, and this is the one year graph, you can see Obsidian Flames has been falling since early October. It's down about $35. But what's interesting is when we go to the 1 month data and we scroll down, we see this on the 13th. And again, shout out Pokepon. He pointed this out. All credit to him. $47 booster box sold on the 13th. Please keep that in mind as we go along, okay? Not the best example, but we'll get into it. Just pay attention. I said we'll get into it. Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift is really interesting. The quantity's down 4%. The price is up 2.2%. We're up to $236.99, and that is something I want to highlight here. When we go to the month graph, you guys can see that it's absolutely fallen. When we go to the 3 month, you can see this price, $226.32, versus where we're at now, $233.57. We are back pretty much 3 months. You wipe out what happened here, this insane buyout that happened, the 84 sold, trying to jump the price up all the way up, and then people just kind of lost their faces. But we are back. If you scroll back out, you can kind of draw a trend line. We are pretty much back towards this little point right here. And it's going to continue to rise. The set is going out of print. There's a couple listings, $236.99, excuse me. These are all reputable sellers. If you guys want to start buying into this, box at this price, I think this is the sneakiest thing you could do. It's relatively cheap as well. It's not the cheapest booster box, believe it or not, but it's damn near close. And I still think there's a lot of good cards in this set that are very underrated. Something to keep in mind. Temporal Forces. It's down 6.3% in terms of quantity, but the price is actually up to 279.95. It's up 5.6%. Temporal continues to be that kind of like weird set that, you know, no one really wants to talk about. I feel like I'm kind of on an island talking about it, but I want you guys to look at this graph because this is a great illustration of what is actually happening with, you know, technical analysis or whatever you want to call it, you know. Again, orange line is your quantity. As quantity is falling, you're seeing the price go up. You know, this point here, last week to this week, we're seeing a lot less quantity and the price has jumped up because of that, because there has been stuff that's sold. And because there's less quantity, we're seeing more of a price increase. And it is back to that same kind of price that it was before. So please don't get it twisted. But it's just really interesting because these lines are kind of back to their same point. Temporal forces continues to be kind of just like, I don't want to say a stagnating set, but it's just forgotten about. It's going to be that first set that is in the, what is it, the H block. So just something to pay attention to. It's not going out of print until 2027, but still is what it is. Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade, there's almost no change to it, but you can see I have highlighted it here. Let's talk about it because, again, this is one of the sets that just got manipulated. You can see this gigantic crash down here, and it has moved the price down to 272.23. However, I have it listed around 309.95 because when you go and you look at some of these prices, right? Small time seller, cool. It's still, again, about $308, $309 with ship. This place, 2,050 sales, 309.95. Go to the sales data. You guys are going to see it again. 13th, 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 $43, $43, $43. Someone is trying to manipulate the market, straight up. That's what's happening. Twilight Masquerade, it's getting a bump down here, and the people are just not willing to sell their product for that low. Like even down here, there's 50,000 plus sales, 313.88. Guy has 6 of them, or girl, whoever. Just be careful. Pay attention to what is happening over here. It's worth checking on as you guys kind of go along in your journeys. Stellar Crown, this is another example. I think, you know, we're seeing a massive quantity increase up to 173 listed on TCG Player. That's 39 additional listings. That's up 160%. Price is up to 266.98. That's up almost 2%. But it's another set I think people are trying to liquidate to buy into Phantasmal Flames. It's just kind of a clear and obvious signal to me whenever I see stuff like this. But it is what it is. Surging Sparks, another one that's highlighted yellow. You guys are going to see it. We did get a Pokemon Center restock of the booster boxes. So, of course, this is going to just be plummeted into oblivion is what I'm going to think. There's about 1,200 listed. That's up 2.39%. New listings 81, that's up 17.5%. The price has fallen to 228.99. That is down 8%. We're going to scroll all the way down into our Surging Sparks booster box. My mouse does not want to cooperate. So much data here. You guys can see again, this, I just want to showcase it again. As the quantity is increasing, the price is decreasing, this blue line. Price going from this point here, 263.92 down to 228.99. Pay attention to Surging Sparks. Let's take a look at the actual graph of Surging Sparks. This is the 3-month. It has fallen from 302.29 all the way down to 219.81 is what TCG Player is saying. Scooch it back out to the 1-year graph. This is just, it's hovering around this point. It looks a lot like Prismatic Evolutions. We are going to see if there is any type of support, meaning people are willing to just absolutely buy the crap out of it at these lows. I very much want to. Personally, I still think this is an absolute steal. But again, we look to load up a little bit more. Look at that, guys. November 13th, $47, $47. No, this one is not down because people are doing that. It's just, I mean, there's plenty of sales data like 218.09. That's a steal. Someone bought one with a picture 209.69. That's a fantastic price if there's nothing wrong with the box. And then someone bought one for 315.99. That's a LOL there. That's not counted towards today's data. It's just kind of interesting to see. Or it is from today's, but it's not what I'm counting. I don't count the day that I'm recording. But still, Surging Sparks, you just be on the lookout for it. If it falls anymore, I think you guys would be fools not to start looking at this. The singles, just anything about it. It's a banger of a set. I don't care what anyone says. It is what got a lot of people back in the hobby, including myself. It has 3 awesome cards with the Melodic, the Latios, and the Pikachu, and the Hydreigon. Honestly, I absolutely love that one. I just think this one's just, we're going to look back at this one and be like, I can't believe we didn't buy it the 5 times it was reprinted, but whatever. Back over here, we have our Journey Together non-enhanced booster box. Once again, highlighted yellow. Take a quick look. You guys are, broken record over here at this point. On the 13th, we had another one. There's only one, $44. People trying to price manipulate it. Price has fallen. That's a 3-month. Look at the 1 year. It's just spiking down at this point. This is the non-enhanced booster box. Just this one's, it's not crashing, but it's darn near close. It's a little kind of like still, I guess, in correction territory, but it's showing very positive signs of crashing. So just, we need more data there in time. We'll see. But there has been a 23% increase in terms of total quantity. In new listings, there's a 137.5% increase. Again, people are probably trying to liquidate this one to get into Phantasmal Flames. The price has not reflected that at all. It's still $242.50 pretty much, but again, just something to watch out for. The enhanced version, again, we are seeing 23 new listings. That's up 155%. Price, again, not reflective at all, still selling for $255. It's fine, but people are trying to get out. We will see what that looks like this week. They're probably trying to get into Phantasmal Flames. Destined Rivals, not much of a change, to be honest with you guys. Still holding pretty steady. We're still at $389.89 for a booster box. That is down negative 0.02%. Pretty flat, but Destined Rivals continues to be the set of the Scarlet and Violet era. 151 Elite Trainer boxes. Starting to see a little like amount of them selling. We're down 7.66% on the price, down to $373.04. It fluctuates all the time. I'm not really worried about that one. Paldean Fates Elite Trainer boxes, not a terrible change in quantity, but we are seeing a massive amount listed compared to the previous week. In terms of there were 19 that sold, meaning people are buying these, but people are also listing them, trying to get out. 122% increase from last week in terms of new listings. Price has gone up to $229.75. I want to scroll over and look at the Paldean Fates graph real quick. You guys are going to see the price and the quantity are kind of sticking here a little bit until they diverge. It'll be interesting, but I think this has fallen enough that I think people are going to start to buy back into it. But just something interesting that happens from time to time. Shrouded Fable, I kind of just want to skip it. The price is down to $76.45. It's just down 5.62%. Like, it is what it is. Prismatic Evolutions, that's your next one to talk about. 2,856 listed. That's up 0.63%. Not that terrible amount of a change in terms of items sold or new listings. The most reputable seller I could find right now is at $131.75, but the market has it at $129.48. I'm telling you guys again, this is the 1 year graph. We are just going to continue to see this just sit in this channel for a little bit longer, and it's going to go on for weeks at this point. Just be mindful of what is happening with Prismatic Evolutions. If we scroll down, this is the second page. $121.99, $10 shipping. $123.9 or $10 shipping. $130, $152. That's still has $2 in shipping. This is the price I'm using. This Maverick Collector 100% sell through, Gold Star seller, 1,200 sales, has 4 of them. those will probably get bought up. But again, it's just a race to the bottom. There's too much of this on the market, guys. Like you guys can still go and get it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it is what it is. Black Bolt, White Flare, we'll touch on these real quick. Not that much of a change. We are seeing a lot of White Flare sold, which is kind of surprising. I still think Black Bolt is the more interesting and more sought after set, but we are seeing a lot of White Flare sold. I've noticed this the last 4 weeks. I don't know. Maybe it's time to kind of change the perspective of this, but again, you can see price going up, quantity going down for White Flare. Black Bolt, it's pretty much following the line, almost the lines they're following each other pretty intensely. It just is what it is, but just I guess take the good with the bad. I forgot to mention this in the Prismatic Evolutions, but this is a great example as well because these lines are just acting pretty differently. Like look how from this point here from 1026 goes down to about 132 and the quantity shoots up. And then from that point, the quantity goes down slightly, the price goes up, and then the price goes down and the quantity shoots back up over the last week. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. This is a perfect example of a market that's just going to stay within its like kind of like channels. Just for as long as this one is going to be active, we are going to see a similar type of behavior with Prismatic Evolutions. And until that changes, until we get a reprint, until we get a massive buyout, whatever it's going to be, this is just what it's going to be. So it is what it is. The last thing that we're going to touch on in this video is talking Sword and Shield booster boxes. And we can blow through these pretty quickly. From Sword and Shield base all the way through Chilling Rain. I'm just going to highlight this for you guys. There's been a negative decrease in quantity, meaning people are just taking product off of the market. They're not willing to sell their product, and I believe it is because of the manipulation that we are seeing with some of these other boxes. They don't want to get their stuff gobbled up in like a bad way. Usually when we see these prices act like this and people are putting stuff up for 40 some dollars, whatever it is, it's kind of just two buddies or a Discord group or something just trying to buy product and then sell it for higher between themselves and sell it to like someone outside of the Discord or their friend group or whatever that it is. But I personally think people are just taking their stuff off the market so that they don't get screwed and they can actually get good profits. But there's almost no change in price. Even Evolving Skies, there's like really nothing going on. But what we want to start talking about? Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike, there's been a 10.81% increase in quantity over the last week. Pretty much no difference in the items sold. New listings, there are quite a few. And then the price is down to $875. Like this was the $1,000 box not that long ago. And if we look just at the graph of Fusion Strike here, real quick, just chilling, evolving, there's Fusion Strike. You guys can see the price has just fallen from this $1,000 mark like in pretty much 3 consecutive weeks now. It's fallen, and the quantities kind of just remain the same. What's interesting is we were at an 86 quantity for Fusion Strike all the way back on 1026. We're at 82 now, and the price has not reflected that. It's interesting. We're gonna see what happens with Fusion Strike. It was a pretty fast rise up to $1,000 to begin with. It's probably going to get back there. It'd be kind of silly for it not to, but it is what it is. Brilliant Stars, 79 currently listed. That's down 8.14%. Not that big of a change in really anything else. The price has pretty much remained exactly the same, but what we want to focus on is this part right here. On TCG Player, it says the market is $417.70. I have it at $499.99. When we go to the Brilliant Stars booster box, you guys are going to see on the 13th again, $45, $45, $42, $45, all on the 13th. Well, that one was on the 12th, so it probably happened late at night. This is what I can guess. And then very early in the morning on the 13th. But you guys can see the prices just shot down here because of those listings, because there's not a lot that have sold, so it's more easily manipulative. But again, when we go down, people they're not lowering their prices. Like these are still very expensive boxes. They're about $500 a pop here. $499.99. Again, that's five. That's a 505 essentially. There's plenty that's out there. There's still 79, but you know that's a fake point. The price is still all the way up here where the top of the 50 is. I don't believe that that's going to be, you know, so bad. It's going to jump right back up. It's just trying to manipulate the market. We're going to see a massive kick up for Brilliant Stars coming soon. I'm telling you guys that's going to be the case. Just pay attention to it. Astral Radiance, again, I think negative 18% quantity change. This is probably because people don't want to get their faces ripped off because of what's happening. Again, negative 17 new listings. The price has not changed. It's still at $400.98. Lost Origin, another box that got manipulated slightly. Quantity change down 8.4%. Again, I guess I can highlight this as well for you guys. Negative 7 new listings. It's down, you know, a good chunk of percentage because those numbers are so low. The price has fallen down to $475. That's down from $704.99. That's down 4.25%. We look at Lost Origin, and again, you guys are going to see, go to the 1 month, massive leg down here. Surprise, surprise. $41. Someone bought a Lost Origin booster box for on the 13th. Shocker. Crazy. But again, prices remain to be very high on this box. Again, that's $675 there, $679, $679, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Silver Tempest, quantity, again, theme of Sword and Shield down 10%. Just don't want to get their faces ripped off. Prices up to $459.98. It's up 1%. Go to the specialty ETBs. Shining Fates, people are trying to get out of this one. 245 listed, up from 226. That's up 8.47 or 8.41%. The price is up to 106.98. That's up 6% almost. Switch over to Celebrations, 151 currently listed. That's up 8.63%. And you guys are going to see the last example. Celebrations ETBs with the 25th or the 30th anniversary coming. Scroll down, 13th and the 12th, 42, 44, 44, 44, etc. People are trying to manipulate this box. Prices fallen sharply because of it, but in reality, these are still selling for $231. Don't be afraid of this one, $232.98. The price has not changed at all. Just there is manipulation abound, and just be careful of it. Pokemon Go, same thing. 23% increase in total quantity. 64 of them listed right now. Still not the best set. Still at 102.25. That's pretty much what it was last week. Your Crown Zenith, not much of a change whatsoever, is not the subject to manipulation. 199.99 for an ETB of Crown Zenith. That's up 2.57%. If we scroll down here and we look at the Crown Zenith graph, just something that's interesting. I think Crown Zenith is going to be quite the nice set to own. The price has come down for the last 4 weeks. It is showing at least a little sign of, you know, positivity. We will see what happens with these points here. But yeah, those are updates. Again, guys, I think Phantasmal Flames prices are going to stick around this point at least through Wave 1. When Wave 2 comes out, that price will eventually change. We will see the leg down as we did with Mega Evolution. Please keep in mind, you know, let's just, you know, backtrack to it. As the quantity kind of, you know, came in here for Mega Evolutions, the price came down for about a 2-week period. We will see that for Phantasmal Flames too. Do not be afraid. Do not FOMO into this one. Yes, it's an exciting set. Just don't spend more than you think that you should. If you feel like it's a little bit too much, just wait. There will be more product that comes out. I promise you guys will have your opportunities, but then, you know, the window really might close. It is still a bull market. We are not in a crash. It's barely like still into correction territory. This happens every time before a new set. Just be mindful and pay attention to what is happening. Apologies for this video being a little bit longer. I wanted to actually spend some time talking with you guys about what I'm seeing in terms of the market movement, with Phantasmal Flames being the main catalyst behind really all of this movement. There is manipulation happening in some of the Scarlet Violet boxes and the Sword and Shield. Please be careful if you guys have any of these boxes, just don't be caught off guard. Usually when we see stuff like this, we do see large buyouts come. I do not expect things to continue dropping. We are still kind of in that correction type of period, but this is still a strong bull market. The fact that I was able to go out there and talk with people and actually see people's reactions to pulling these cards, to engage with the people in the community, to see the enjoyment and just the happiness about being able to pull a Charizard is very palpable, and it cannot be ignored. This is still a very positive and very confident market. And because we're seeing online in the secondary market, the prices are going up for the new sets, tells me that there is strong belief that these prices are good prices. And that cannot be ignored. It cannot be overstated whatsoever. It kind of sucks because it is just a lot of money. And if you did not get it, you did not have an opportunity, you may not be able to get in for a very cheap price. And that sucks. Believe me, like I said, I wasn't able to get a booster box from this set, and that sucks. I missed it for my pre-release location on Monday of last week. Really sucked. Didn't get there in time. It happens. But, it's something that can't be ignored. When we see manipulation happen and we see these types of prices just hold to this degree, it's good overall, and it's good for the hobby. It's good for longevity and stuff like that. I don't think there's anybody saying that, Pokemon's going to go away, that it's not popular or anything like that. But it does suck because, it does get a little difficult to find the product. And I don't want to pay $310 for a Phantasmal Flames booster box. I think that's a little crappy. Personally, I'm going to wait until the market cools and until we get wave 2 of Phantasmal Flames. And then if I'm able to get a booster box, absolutely. What happens to the price from there? I don't know, but we'll see. Again, I update this series every single week. We talk about a lot of stuff. It is on the longer side. I apologize. I do have plans for this series coming up here when the time is right. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I have a couple different ideas of how I want to spin things, but yeah, let me know down below what you guys think about these prices. Are we seeing the right things happen? Are we seeing, just strong market positivity? I really want to know from you guys as well. Number one, were you able to get product at your locations, UPCs, the booster boxes, bundles, whatever it is? And do you think prices are going to hold at the current price, or do you think we're going to see the sentiment go down? I'm curious what you guys have to say down below. Be sure to tap in for more stuff. Hit the buttons down below, share it with your friends, like and comment. It helps so much. I'll catch you guys on the next one when we talk about some more fun stuff.